British accents are heard in every major on-screen franchise, but maybe leave those roles to the actual Brits. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 20 worst fake British accents in film and television.
Nice to see you, Kurgan. Who cuts your hair?
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. For this list, prepare your ears for some painfully poor accents, courtesy of folks from other parts of the globe. While we do respect the effort, we just can't let you get away with some of these.
At the moment, I don't seem to satisfy you in the way that I'd like to.
Number 20, Mischa Barton, St. Trinians.
Get yourself on camera and the world can be your oyster.
Let's start off with something simply diabolical. Mischa Barton, whom you may remember from shows like The OC, took the role of JJ French in this cult classic movie. You'll probably have some difficulty trying to discern which regional accent she's trying to put on here, since she seems to be fading in and out of her own accent mid-bloody sentence.
They want to know all about your broken hearts and your fashion disasters.
It's actually shocking to think that Mischa was born in the UK, when this was the best that she could pull off.
Look at Liz Hurley. She wore that dress, and what happened?
Number 19, Robert Downey Jr., Doolittle. As if there weren't already a million things wrong with this shoddy movie.
Don't worry about that. Come on, let's eat. I'm going to be offering today a brothy soup.
While RDJ has gotten a passing grade for his British accent in movies like the Sherlock Holmes series, he proved here that there is perhaps a limit to his acting chops. In a movie full of CGI cartoon animals, his accent somehow comes across the most ludicrous.
The Queen's symptoms are due to the effect of a rare Sumatran plant known as the nightshade flower.
Now, you may actually be wondering what on earth the accent he's trying to do is. Well, it's Welsh. But honestly, it's a lot less Cymru and a lot more come on, Robert.
You saved me, did you? Fair play. Thanks very much.
Number 18, Larissa Gallagher, Steven Universe Future.
Bluebird, that's right, at your service. All right, give us a hug then.
The Steven Universe series was home to an array of bright and colourful characters from all sorts of backgrounds. However, when the fusion character Bluebird Azurite turned up touting a poor Cockney accent, we'd wished they'd been a little less inclusive. Portrayed by the Australian-born American actress, this attempt is about as frustrating to listen to as you can imagine.
I don't know what art is, but this is the best art I've ever seen.
Given the fact that British singer Estelle plays one of the main characters of the show, you think she would have stepped in and given her some pointers. Of course, we do have to give some leeway, since this is obviously hammed up for a cartoon performance, and Gallagher has proven to be a good voice actor elsewhere.
But then they were cast out, forgotten, when the traitor duped all of Homeworld into loving him instead.
Number 17, Michael C. Hall, Safe.
My bad. Great, burgers.
The talented actor behind the leads of 6 Feet Under and Dexter, Michael C. Hall has a resume of stellar performances on the small screen. So why, oh why, did he have to test out his British accent here? You got nothing to prove, Mike.
Okay. Can I leave my number, just in case you hear anything?
He gets all stiff every time he starts to speak, almost as if he's focusing too much on trying to pull the voice off. It's a little hard to focus on the intense drama that's going on in the show when he keeps this going. If you can look past the accent though, it's a good performance.
Ewan! Ewan, I just want to talk! Stop! Ewan!
Number 16, Jake Gyllenhaal, Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time.
Ah, a pleasure to meet you too, Princess. And allow me to offer that if punishing the enemies of my king is a crime, then it's one I'll gladly repeat.
Alright, now the first question that comes to mind is, why the hell would the Prince of Persia have a British accent to begin with? Alas, this was the case anyway in this video game movie adaptation, where Gyllenhaal played the most American-sounding British-accented Middle Eastern prince ever. Dastan.
Well, we can sit here and chat, or you can get on the horse.
Saddest part is, Jake said he worked on the accent for months. Hard work doesn't always pay off, folks. Fortunately, Gyllenhaal has admitted in recent years that the role wasn't right for him.
What you're looking at is the walk of a man who just lost everything.
Number 15, Noomi Rapace, Prometheus.
If we can't make contact, why did you even bring us here?
Swedish superstar Noomi Rapace got her lucky break when she performed as Lisbeth Salander in the original Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trilogy, and her transition into Hollywood was pretty damn fluid. So you're wondering why she's on this list, because the way she speaks in no way resembles a British accent of any kind.
Genetic view. Okay.
Let's have a look at its DNA.
But yeah, turns out the character was supposed to be a Brit after all. Fooled us.
Are you alright?
Yes. Thank you, David.
Number 14, Russell Crowe, Robin Hood.
What about our wages?
I thought it was hard getting wages while he was alive. Try getting paid by a dead king.
Now, there was plenty wrong with this movie already, but we're focusing on Crowe's portrayal of the famous thief. Slipping between English, Irish, and Scottish in this movie, Crowe brought down an already dull film even further.
Maybe it's just my imagination, I don't know. But I intend to take that sword back to its owner.
Anyway, Crowe got pretty heated at people criticising his accent in this movie, and he'd probably kick my ass, so I'll stop there. But trust us, this isn't the only time this heroic outlaw will appear on this list.
Should you not be addressing me as my husband or my dear?
Number 13, Christopher Lambert, Highlander.
You ever get over to New Jersey, Nash?
Not if I can help it.
You talk funny, Nash. Where are you from?
Lots of different places.
This one was a recipe for disaster. Lambert is a French actor who spent much of his childhood in Switzerland, so you know his English already wasn't exactly perfect. But when you force a bloke with that experience to do a Scottish accent, you're just asking for trouble.
This cannot be. It's the devil's work.
You cannot die, MacLeod. Accept it.
You can say what you want about Sean Connery playing a Spanish character in the film and just sticking with his own voice, but for this to be the protagonist of the movie is just unforgivable.
Aye, Blossom. The way you like it.
Number 12, Madonna, The Next Best Thing.
No, what you want is a bimbo. And that's exactly what you deserve.
Let's just say it, Madonna has proven to be an absolutely dire actress almost every time she's tried. That means you can already brace yourself for how shockingly bad her British accent was in this rom-com flick. Madonna has already adopted the UK as her second home, and her voice has kind of evolved after all the years spent here. But even still, she can't quite capture a convincing voice for the whole movie.
When I die, I don't want to be buried, and I don't want to be burned.
Since its release, no one has been able to identify whether this character was really meant to be British or not. It baffles scientists to this day.
Oh, thank you. I knew you'd understand.
Number 11, Kevin Costner, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
Return with the boat. I know how it feels to be so far from your home and family.
Ah yes, you knew it was coming. While this movie blew up in '91, as the years have passed, people have begun questioning what the hell they were thinking. Starring as the legendary thief himself, Costner's accent makes you question whether or not he was trying to sound British, or if he just said sod it.
And I say we strike back at the very man who takes our homes and would hunt our children.
He's dropping hard American syllables throughout the movie, and the only thing that can take your mind off it is Alan Rickman's awesome over-the-top performance.
I'm gonna cut your heart out with a spoon! Then it begins.
Number 10, James Franco, Your Highness.
Belladonna, wake up. Wake up.
Just because your film is based in fantasy doesn't mean your accent should be. In this magical comedy, Fabius and Thaddeus are on a quest to save Fabius's wife from an evil wizard with a lot more adult humour than you'd expect from the genre. But James Franco's accent is about as unexpected as it gets. While Danny McBride gives an off and on performance with his voice,
sounds tedious and boring.
It's Franco's limey and barely present accent that really steals the show, and not in a good way.
You're still in Lazar's lair, but fear not, I'm here to rescue you.
Even during impassioned speeches, Franco slips between caricature and his natural speaking voice, resulting in an accent that's only suitable for comedy.
When I first heard her voice, a tear came to my eye, and that tear turned to ice, and I kept that frozen tear far from my heart that burns with passion.
Number 9, Lindsay Lohan, The Parent Trap.
Sooner or later, they'll have to unswitch us.
It's hard to get too upset by mess-ups from child actors, but there are definitely a few exceptions. Playing her own twin in this childhood comedy, a young Lindsay Lohan actually does a surprisingly good job at separating her role even when acting opposite herself, but even the best acting needs to sound real.
I don't have a father, actually. I mean, I had one once, I suppose.
Giving her best posh accent a go, Lohan sounds like a Dickensian stereotype in both her cartoonish tone and even cornier dialogue about having class.
Let me see. I know how to fence and you don't? Or I have class and you don't.
Despite warbling some O's, she manages to poke fun at herself as well, imitating her British twin in the same broken voice.
Yes, you want to know the difference between us? I have class and you don't.
Number 8, Natalie Portman, V for Vendetta.
This isn't a game, Your Grace. Someone's coming and I think he means to kill you.
Even an accent suited for the stage doesn't always translate to film. Bringing Alan Moore's political graphic novel to life, Natalie Portman delivers a heartbreaking performance in her role as the unintentional hero, Evie, who's dealing with the consequences of fighting oppressive power.
You did this to me. You cut my hair.
Although the pain and joy she's able to evoke are palpable enough to explain Portman's stardom, her prim accent is so put on that it wouldn't even take a Brit to notice it.
Yes, thank you. What is this place?
Feeling all too classical Shakespearean, Portman's accent pulls viewers right out of the film's intense moments and feels confusing among her otherwise mostly British castmates.
I won't tell anyone, I swear.
Number 7, Dick Van Dyke, Mary Poppins.
All right, ladies and gents.
A convincing accent can always pull audiences in, while a bad imitation can have them laughing. One of the few Americans in this children's classic, Dick Van Dyke's star power was a huge draw to audience on both sides of the pond, a draw he probably wishes he could have avoided. Playing the multi-talented Bert, Van Dyke manages the many jobs of his role well, but slips on the most important job of his own, sounding believable.
Yes, whatever you do, keep a straight face.
Attempting full Cockney, he sounds like a parody of his co-stars, but things sound even weirder in song, and even more so when Van Dyke's natural tongue cuts through the voice.
A spoonful of sugar goes a long, long way. Have yourself a healthy helping every day.
Number 6, Anne Hathaway, One Day.
Tilly, come on, it's time to go home.
When playing opposite actual Brits, it helps to at least keep your accent consistent. Over the course of this decade-spanning romantic drama, Emma and Dexter can't help falling in and out of love with each other just about as frequently as Anne Hathaway falls in and out of her own accent.
When we were at university, I've always spoke you. I had a crush on you.
From their very first time on the screen together, Hathaway's natural and very recognisable speaking voice cuts through her accent so hard, it can be difficult at times to tell that she's even supposed to be British, especially next to the very real and very distinct accent of Jim Sturgis.
You know, we've never actually met.
Actually, we have. Several times.
It's a great performance otherwise, but some accents aren't for everyone.
My apartment's not far, shall we?
Number 5, Shia LaBeouf, Nymphomaniac.
I just tried it. There's not enough space, Joe. You just saw me do it.
Racy sex scenes and mature content aren't the only reasons for the controversy surrounding this Lars von Trier epic. Playing the hot and cold Jerome throughout multiple years of his encounters with the insatiable Joe, LaBeouf went so thick in his bass and rasp-heavy accent that it's hard to not take some of the scenes as comedic.
Every time you do a good job, I say, good job, Liz.
Making French co-star Stacey Martin's accent look strong by comparison, LaBeouf feels like he's mocking the British as much as he mocks his own co-workers.
Good job, Liz.
Good job, Liz.
Good job, Liz.
Completely losing his accent in some of the more heated scenes, Shia rarely carries the tone the material needs.
I love you. I love your wildness and your desire. I love you, Joe.
Number 4, Josh Hartnett, Blow Dry.
What's it to do with you, who I talk to, eh?
In a film about attention to detail, you'd think this flub wouldn't have been missed. Brightening up the world of competitive hairstyling, Minnesota-born Josh Hartnett seems a strange choice to play a Brit in this hairy comedy, a choice made all the stranger by his attempt to sound like one.
I mean, I'm cutting in my dad's shop, but
Not competitions.
Besides the fact that Hartnett looks about as American as they come, any chance at believing his English heritage is easily dashed anytime he opens his mouth.
You're bloody jealous, you are.
Stop it!
Sounding like an American imitating a Northerner as a joke, Hartnett even drops the accent every so often for good measure.
No volume, no real hold, that's the problem.
Number 3, Heather Graham, From Hell.
Do you think I'm paying you back?
While it's in bad form to judge a book by its cover, sometimes a title becomes a little more than a clever illusion. Going significantly overboard in her portrayal of the Cockney prostitute Mary Kelly, Graham nails the words but not the delivery in her attempt at a 19th century accent.
And I can't help myself. What's your excuse?
Saying any cliche phrase or slang she can muster to try and sound more convincing, Graham may have aced the voice if she had not laid the inflection so thick, breaking any spell she may have had over the audience.
Are you sure she's alright?
Yeah.
Number 2, Don Cheadle, Ocean's franchise.
You tossers! You had one job to do!
Every so often there's an accent that slides under the radar until the moment you remember the actor is actually American. Taking the piss as demolition expert basher across 3 movies, Cheadle plays as shady as a Brit as he knows, sounding more like an Oliver Twist extra than a real person as he rhymes and drops slang throughout conversations.
They've only nosed up the mainframe couplet, nosed it right up!
Do you understand any of this?
Just when it seems like he can't go any further with his accent, Cheadle whispers in his own voice throughout the series without anyone batting an eye.
Stunned.
Alternatively, his time as American icon Fender Rhodes isn't that much of a step up.
Mr. Bang, this is a Fender Rhodes moment!
Number 1, Keanu Reeves, Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Yes, of course, sir.
There's a particular combination of great talent that makes such horrors of acting more unbelievable than the fictional horror of their story. Bringing this tale of ancient evil to life, legendary director Francis Ford Coppola brought British powerhouses like Gary Oldman and Anthony Hopkins on board to do the story justice, but somehow let Keanu's horrendous attempt at an accent pass the audition phase.
I've seen many strange things already. Bloody wolves chasing me through some blue inferno!
On top of some questionable acting, his rasp-laden tone always feels like a bad impression rather than anyone's actual voice, making for one accent so hilariously sloppy that it makes the movie worth watching for a completely different reason.
No, let them go! Let them go! Our work is finished here.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.